Welcome to Creatacast with your host, David Welch. Today's episode is it's a quick episode, not very long. Just an update of kind of where things are going with the podcast and how things are going to progress moving forward. And a little bit about support from your family and friends as a creative writer. For some reason, our family and friends have this expectation built up for writers that we got the next best thing coming out, next month. Not understanding that sometimes as authors and writers, it takes months, sorry, for sneezing, or even years to complete a project. And in that battle to complete one's work in a project, we lose some supporters, we lose people's genuine interest in what we're doing. And not just interest, we lose a lot of backing. Now, there's authors out there that already have a good support system. Some don't. There's a lot that don't. There's a lot of artists out there that are the starving writers that are working 2 and 3 jobs trying to put in 1,000 words a week, much less a day, like a full-time writer or full-time somebody who's already being paid to do it will do. Now, if you've already done your due diligence, you've done the work, you've taken the time, you focused your energy, and you got your book out there, sometimes there's not a lot of return on investment unless you're picked up by a major publisher. And that's hard to do. Like, we as writers, even with full manuscripts complete, edited, doesn't matter. Sometimes that doesn't even matter a hoot, because we have the process of still trying to get still have the process of sorry, that was my son. Let him in, guys. Still have the process of getting the support we need. Still have the process of getting out there. So that's one of the biggest obstacles I can think of for being in the writing community is sustained levels of support. Sometimes, even our spouses don't get it, or our girlfriend, boyfriend, whatever situation it is, partner, whatever the situation, sometimes they don't get it. They don't give you that high level of support you may need to battle through getting your project completed. And sometimes it's challenging to maintain a relationship, especially if you're a full-time writer and you're trying to write articles and you're doing your blog and you got a lot of content coming out, but not a lot of return on your investment. Unless you have a publisher who is paying you for your content, constantly giving you paychecks, it's pretty tough. Sometimes they may not even pick up the article you write that week, and then you're just out money. I know, because I've been a content writer for a while. I've done blogs, I've done ghostwriting, I have side hustle after side hustle for my writing, write papers, write briefings, write opinion articles, you name it, I write it. I've dabbled in quite a bit. But sometimes it's not a lot of return on investment. Sometimes when you do writing for other people, it's building your body of work. Sometimes pro bono work is what you have to do for a while to kind of get out there and show people your skills. You showcase your ability to provide that service of writing, because I want to tell you, when you first go out there as a writer, and if you hit it big right away, good on you. You're one of the lucky ones. You're few and far between. But even with a college degree, you get out there with a degree in humanities, English, whatever, and you're writing, even if you're writing for a magazine, sometimes it's hit or miss still. You may have like a consistent salary until they pick up one of your articles, or sometimes you don't even have a salary, you pay by the article, and that's if they choose to publish your content with that issue. Sometimes it takes weeks to work on a good story, especially if you're an investigative reporter. It takes a lot of time to build a story because you're vetting resources, you're getting reliable information out there to not be sued and to not have your credibility tarnished. So support, again, it comes down to support. If you make your living with letters and writing, then you have to have support. So going into a relationship, your family have to understand, like, hey, it may have to be a side project or a passion project until you can get off the ground as a full-time writer. Or if you're trying to make a go out of it and you spend 6 months behind the computer trying to blog, trying to do whatever you can, you're not making a lot of headway, even with like clear consistency in your writing and your articles, that happens. And unfortunately, it sucks when you're publishing a bunch of content, well-researched content, and you're not making ends meet. It's disheartening. But here's where the support comes in. If you have somebody that truly has your back, that truly supports you in your craft, they're going to be there through the heart of it. They're going to be there when you're not well known, you're in your work religiously, relentlessly, you're working closely with editors, or you are an editor, and you're working closely with people in the craft, and you're just getting held up. You're getting boxed in. You're not really making a lot of money. Or you've written 3 and 4 manuscripts that no publishers picked up. Well, it could be a craft issue. It could be a multitude of things that are just holding you back. Sometimes it's just a picky season. Sometimes publishers get a wealth of manuscripts in, and they have to be super selective because they have to put you essentially as the brand, as the face of their company for a while. But if they can't market your story, they can't take it and run with it and feel like it's, hey, this is going to get their goat, this is really going to get them going, then they're not going to run with your story. I mean, Stephen King got published because his wife was supported, didn't give up on his dream. I mean, he had his manuscript in the trash that she took out of the trash and mailed in. Finally, the book got picked up. Finally, his career took off. But where would we be without Stephen King? I mean, he is a cultural icon. When you think horror fiction, automatically your brain goes, Stephen King, right to it. But it took support for him to get there. Without support, it's hard, it's challenging. Now, you can do it on your own. You can do it, especially if you're a bachelor or a bachelorette, and you're out there in the world just killing the game on your own, and you're not, in a serious relationships, and nothing is hindering you for that moment in time. Great. But there may be a moment, there may be a time, there may be an instance where you are successful, you do get into the relationship, and maybe you hit a lull. Maybe something happens where your writing is not as great as it used to be. That happens all the time. We've seen authors fall off, or maybe they're just living on the success of the past, whatever the case, or maybe they moved on to do other projects that require time, energy, and things to master, learn, and make money from. Now, not everybody goes into writing to solely make money. Some people just do it because that's what they've done their whole life. They've journaled, they just love, they have a passion for it. But sometimes that passion comes at a cost, a serious cost when it comes to being an author, being a writer. And that cost is financial. when you could be out there busting your tail, getting money. You're behind a desk writing poetry, or you're behind a desk writing a story that may or may not see the light of day. Writers write so readers can read. I wholeheartedly believe that. There is a never-ending maw of readers out there, because some people, I know people that don't knock out 2 books a day. I mean, because they just, whatever it is, whatever stage they're at in their life, or whatever skills they picked up as young people, they have this insatiable desire to read. I've met these people. I've interacted with them. I am not one of these people, unfortunately, because I'm very picky about what I read, but I read a lot. I do read a huge quantifiable amount. I'm just not a fast reader. I'm not a 2 books a day type person. I'm a book a week type person at a fast clip. That's reading fast for me. If I'm consuming a book like my morning coffee, then it's, yeah, I like to read slowly, digest the words, ruminate on the story, think about it, envision it in my mind's eye, and just be happy reading the book. A couple days, good week, knock down a book. In fact, I get a slightly perverse happiness when, I'm reading a Kindle book and you go from like 10%, 25%, 50%, 75% completed. I feel like I'm slowly loading like a computer, and it's rewarding for me. It's enjoyable. It's something that I enjoy doing. It's a rewarding process to read a book on Kindle. It's a rewarding process to lift and close that final page. Super rewarding, super happy for me as a writer. So to think that a writer out there can't get their content read, or there's readers that won't like their stuff. I mean, I don't know if that's a truism. I just know that when it comes to publishers, they're super picky because they want a certain brand of writer. They already have in their heads what type of book they endorse, what type of storytelling they want to convey to the world as their brand. It's not necessarily up to you, the author, anymore. It's a bunch of people sitting in a room think tanking your book. Like, oh, how can we market this? What are we going to do? We're going to make a film? Or are we going to sit there and just, kind of see how it does, and then, or are we just going to go balls in like we did with Twilight? I mean, that book was not the most well-written book, but it did grab the attention of people who were in love with the supernatural, with vampires, and just putting a new spin on an old tale. And it was very rewarding for people. In fact, it was a craze that took over the nation, kind of like Harry Potter. So, no beef there. Not the biggest fan of the series, me personally, when I was reading it as a young man. But, kudos to the author. And, she kicked ass. She did the thing. Good on her. But that's not everybody. It's a Cinderella story. There are authors and writers out there that are just, man, they are hustling to get people to buy their book. I had a writer whose book I used as the cover of my thumbnail today that hit me up and was like, oh, well, what kind of what kind of support can you give me? I mean, what can I do for you? I'm checking. I could take a review of your social media profile. I can help you, yada yada yada. All you have to do is buy my book. All right, I'm game. Bought the book, got a free service, or got a service that was however much the book was. Bam! It's a nice trade-off. I get a nice book on the shelf. Get a nice group of poems that I get to analyze and ruminate on. But some people are out there hustling the game. They're saying, hey, you want to pay for this service? It's a one-time cost. Boom, there's your book. You get 2 birds with 1 stone. You get a client and a client. Nice. There are some people out there that are just letting it ride. Got my book out there. Hopefully it sells. Okay. I see you. Somewhere, though, you had to have support to get your book out there. Now, if you're sitting here like, oh, I'm busting my chops, I did this all on my own, I don't know. Somebody somewhere had to support you. Now, I'm not saying that people can't work a job and write a book and write a couple books and then just be in the game. Like my good co-writer and, no, not co-writer, writer buddy and good shipmate of mine, Clinton Harris, who's got some books coming out real soon. He's got one book out right now. I will definitely put his books out there next time we do a podcast. But I just wanted to say that Clinton Harris has his books coming out, and they're more psychology-based, relationship-based, and then leadership principles, I do believe. But yeah, so, he is working full-time, writes books, is a consummate advocate for physical fitness, very strong academic prowess. I mean, he has his degrees, multiple degrees, smart cookie. But sometimes it just takes a long time. He's an older guy. It took him a long time to build his body of work and his education to the point where he's comfortable enough getting those books out. It's a long project. It's a tough game. Tough gig. But that's what he had to do. I've got good friends that are starting to get ebooks out because it's profitable to have an ebook. So they're putting the time and the effort and the concentration and whatever it is, and they're adding that to their body of work. But sometimes some of them have support, some of them don't. All I'm saying is like, to be effective, sometimes we need support. Sometimes the support is, hey, keep doing what you're doing, you're killing it. I can't wait to get the book. And sometimes that's what we wait for. We can't wait to get the book. We finish on a good note. Now, with Creatacast, I've got some big news coming up. Pretty soon, I'm going to have a very solid picture component or video component to YouTube with Creatacast. So not only will I be doing a live broadcast, but I will also be putting it on my YouTube. I don't think I'm going to film it live, but I will post it right after the show is complete. I'm working with a studio here in Tempe, Arizona, and a good colleague of mine, Mr. Benjamin Moline. He's a very, very cool, very awesome businessman, producer, good filmmaker. He's done some documentaries. He's done some Armed Forces Network stuff in the military. He's done voiceover work. I mean, he's a very, very good broadcaster. So I'm so excited to announce that Creatacast will be with a full set, hopefully real soon, be doing a good video, like try to do it Joe Rogan style, but I'm going to do it, pretty much me in the studio with a set, and it's still going to broadcast via the airwaves, still broadcast via iHeartRadio, but I'm going to ensure that the video component on YouTube is going to be superb. So that's the goal. That's the destination I'm getting to with my podcast, and that's the result. On the flip side, we have Avengers Endgame coming up. We also have season 4 of Lucifer coming out on Netflix. I swear before everything and all in the Almighty, if you guys spoil stuff for me, like I'm going social media black, like dark, for the next couple of weeks the stuff comes out. Because I'm going to go watch it, and until I watch it, my butt's not going on social media. Game of Thrones, off social media. That's part of that support too, guys. Sometimes we have to enjoy our own escapism, our own escapist activities to develop ourselves as artists. So that's the effort, that's the goal. So no spoilers for me. You all reach out to me. Now, if you do want your work read on Creatacast, please send me an email, dwelch, like Welch's grape juice, 9627 @gmail.com. If you have any questions about the show and the development of the show. If you are an author and you have questions for me, you can give me a call, 801-388-7083. Shoot me an email, give me a call, shoot me a text message. I can't wait to have a conversation with you and then, get you on the show and get you going. Please submit your work to my show. Please, Microsoft Word, 12-point font, Arial or Times New Roman. For you poetry guys, separate the poems on different pages. For you fiction cats out there, double spaced, please. And please put a little bio and a picture so I can put you guys on the website, or the website that's coming out soon. But I'm also going to be doing a digital magazine as soon as I get enough writers and authors to showcase for the show. I want the shows to be consistently an hour and 30 minutes or an hour and 20 minutes so I can do a good closing with your content. That was the whole purpose of Creatacast. Not only do I get to talk about things that are important to writers and readers, but I get to talk about your work. I get to showcase your work. If you're comfortable with that and you want to get out there to the world as a creative writer, as a creative thinker, this is a wonderful way to do it. I cannot wait to endorse you. Cannot wait to read your work. And if I'm given permission to, I'll absolutely publish it with my digital magazine, the Creatacast magazine. So those are the things coming up for the show. I'm going to wrap it up, guys. I think you guys are amazing. I love everybody that listens to the show. And it's been a very crazy last couple weeks, but I am so glad to be in Arizona. Not to say that my Texas fans out there can't listen to me, but holy cow, Texas. Now, to be fair, loved Houston, loved Dallas, places, Austin was great, but the Fort Hood, Killeen, Coppers Cove area, no. Oh, it was horrible living there. Fort Hood, shame on you guys. Horrible. Anyways, I love my creative writers out there, my creative thinkers, my listeners. Please submit to the show. Have a great day.